Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right. It's just the two of us. Terrence is not in this week. So let's get right into it. You watched the finale of Presumed Innocent while I try to fix my headphones.
Yeah, Presumed Innocent is the Apple TV drama. It is, piece of trivia, it is the most watched drama on Apple TV.
Oh,
it is the most streamed drama that they have on Apple TV, and rightly so. It is it's very good, and my wife and I were trying to guess who. We were trying to guess the end, and
you get it.
And I think I got closer than she did, but she thinks she got closer than I did. And
that's curious. That's curious.
Yeah. So I can't say anything else without giving the whole thing away. But sure. And we were both wrong.
Oh, okay, good. Well, that's kind of fun.
All right. So it's a really good show. Look, if you like legal dramas, like if you like watching people giving soliloquies in courtrooms and shit,
I do.
This is it. There's something about it, right? Dick Wolf figured it out, right?
Yeah.
And there's something about it, and and the last half of this 8-episode season is all trial. Right. Like it's all trial, and it does a really good job of giving you cliffhangers. Like me and my wife, we had skipped a week, so we wanted to double up. Boy, I'm glad we doubled up when we did, because if I had to wait a week for one of those episodes, had a serious cliffhanger, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And then I forgot, we could just let it play. All right. We just let it play. It's a really good show. Really, really good performances. And I'm curious to see who, if you would like it. You and your wife would like it.
Yeah. It's on like the very high point of our list. Like my father-in-law is in town right now, so we're rewatching The Bear because he's never seen it, which has been pretty fun. And right after that, like we're going to get right into Presumed Innocent. So next couple of days.
I think the longest episode is 50 minutes, which is like
okay. That's not so bad. Yeah, that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
All right, cool. So, and that's what you said, 8 minutes or 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's only 8 episodes, and it got renewed for season 2. So,
that's interesting. Oh, okay. So it's not a one and done story. Oh,
it's going to be an anthology from everything that I've read.
So I see. Okay, so this case with Jake Gyllenhaal is just done.
Yeah, this case is whatever this is.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to worry about it.
All right, so they're going the True Detective route, like that. Yeah. But like maybe the other seasons will be good.
Yeah, hopefully. let's hope so.
Set the bar real high, and then we're just like, I guess. Like Vince Vaughn, fuck. All right, yeah, cool. All right, that's good to know. I did see you sent me that article that Apple TV now doesn't want to be the biggest spenders out in Hollywood. I'm like, yeah, that's not good, yo. Like, y'all making really good content. Like, don't fuck it up. Like, don't start doing man. Like, come on. Yikes.
Like I heard something like Severance cost $20 million an episode or some shit like that, which doesn't sound right to me. But if that's the case, yeah, let me see if I can find it before
$20 million an episode.
Yeah, let me
walk around the courtroom and do this.
Like no, Severance.
20 million.
I know, right? Like,
still, like that don't even have anything in it.
Right. I'm
like
trying
an
to find
old computer, and it's like all white with cubicles. Like, there's not even that much on the set. That's got to be like, how much are the actors making? Like that? Are they making?
Apparently, according to Forbes, this is just a blurb from the Forbes website. That pops up when you Google Severance $20 million per episode. We've gone through this with Marvel's $200 million plus Secret Invasion, and now reportedly season 2 of Severance is going to cost $20 million an episode.
Oh, season 2. Okay. Yes, my guess is the star power is going to increase because everyone was like, oh shit, this is a really good show. That's got to be.
Yeah. It has to be, right? It has to be. It
takes place in
right. It takes place in a building. Like
Like,
that's it.
is $17 million per episode just the overhead shot of like desolate Canada, wherever the fuck they shoot this? Like, there's not a lot, right? It's all in the character. So that's really funny. Like, it's gonna be really expensive. Why? I like Adam Scott. He's not worth
Adam Scott.
Right. Like, is he worth $15-20 million an episode? Like, I don't think so. And I really like that guy. Like, that seems high. So, all right, cool.
Man.
That's funny. All right, let's we're moving at a clip here. Look, I'll talk about Sunny that's on Apple TV a little bit more in depth next week. I'll have a chance to watch a few more episodes. Oh, here's a movie I got halfway through, and I'm not finished it for any other reason, just like timing on my end, but I do want to talk about it a bit. I watched half of Furiosa. It is not as good as Mad Max Fury Road. That I will say easily. That movie really drags in ways I wouldn't have expected. Like Mad Max or Fury Road, very specifically, never felt like it was dragging. Right? That movie was like balls to the wall the whole time. Right? It didn't have as much of a build-up story as Furiosa has. Right? Like, the movie kind of kicks off at 100 miles an hour. You're like, oh shit. All right, got it. Like, this is what we're doing. But it takes so much longer to get to the point where she's played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Like, she's a little kid for so much of the movie. I was really surprised. And they really kind of stick on that. And it takes a while before you actually get to the principal actors. And it's fun. And there are moments in it that, like the action sequences, like the driving action sequences are dope as fuck. Like, some of the shots are really fun, but it does take an inordinate amount of time to get there. I was actually surprised considering how quickly Fury Road got to those things. It's not bad, by the way. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not as good. I definitely see the argument that it's not as good as Fury Road was. And it's not because it's not Mad Max is not the focus. It's not any of that. It's just sort of the pacing for me. Chris Hemsworth, as ugly and as gross of a person as they make him out to be, that dude's just got charisma. Like it just doesn't matter. It just shows up no matter what, right? It's a testament to him as an actor. But so far so good. But I do find, I was like, I stopped it and I was like, I got to come back to this in a couple of days, just from, again, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but I was like, I have an hour left. I thought maybe I had like 20 minutes left. Like, that's how much it felt like it was dragging in the early parts of the movie. So now that I'm in the like heavier action middle, I'm wondering if it just starts to feel more like Fury Road. But yeah, it's not as good as its predecessor, but that hardly makes it bad. So I am enjoying it.
All right.
I like that world. This is fun. It makes no sense, and everyone looks crazy. And like, okay. And by the way, there are characters who I thought were other characters who are not. Which I was like, oh, okay. I was completely wrong from the trailers about these particular characters showing up. So, yeah, interesting film. All right, let's jump into topics this week.
So look, topics are going to be, we mainly talk about like movies and stuff, right? Like it's just what the show has evolved into. And it's the time of year where it's kind of slow. So we're going to have a couple of stories that I thought might be interesting to talk about. And then next week, excuse me, since San Diego Comic-Con is going on as we record this, next week will probably be flooded with a bunch of stuff. So you're probably going to get a short show this week and maybe a long show next week. But I found an article on Variety that lists the box office winners and losers so far in 2024. Now, this is dated June 26th, 2024. And I got a list of winners and I got a list of losers.
All right.
Winners. Inside Out 2. Its production budget was $200 million. Its global box office. Would you care to take a guess? I will give you a hint. It is now the highest grossing animated movie that Disney has ever produced.
I know it's over $1 billion. I'm gonna go
Not over $1 billion. Not over $1 billion yet.
Really? I thought the reports were that it was over $1 billion.
At least not as of this. This thing here.
Then I would say 900 million.
You are correct. I have an updated list for this particular movie. It is over $1 billion. What is?
I was gonna say 1.5 billion. It's pretty goddamn close. 1.462.
Oh well, there you go,
dude. It's a beast. It's a fucking beast. Look, I'm telling you, if you're looking for a kids movie that's got like some real heart to it and really fucking good storytelling, 1, go see the first one. 2, go see this one. It's impressive. Like, it's an impressive way. My daughter was rewatching the first one the other day on Disney. And it's just really interesting how they show the internal mind of a person. Like, not just the characters, but the world in which they live in. Like, it's fascinating. Whoever came up with that idea really took a real basic idea of like, these characters represent their emotions, but it's like, but they also live in a world. And like, how do you explain certain like mega emotions and like all of that? It can't just be with those characters. You have to expand the world and what those characters inside her mind are dealing with too. It's fascinating. And then that jump back and forth into like the girl's brain, into like how she sees reality and things like that. It's really, really good. And the second one somehow takes that idea and just jumps it up that much more. It was really impressive. So I'm not surprised, because it's a 4-quadrant movie. Like, there is something quite literally for everybody to see in this movie. It's really good.
Next up is Dune Part 2 with a production budget of $190 million. Its global box office is $711 million.
That's pretty good for hard sci-fi like that.
For hard sci-fi based off of a dense ass book.
Right. Did you ever finish reading that?
No, I have not. Look, you know what I'm reading right now? I'm reading this book called Upgrade, which is written by the guy that wrote Dark Matter. Oh,
okay. Yeah, you're reading that one first before reading Dark Matter?
Yeah, I'm going to read this one because, like, of the 3 books that I got from that guy, that one seemed like the most interesting.
Okay.
It's about this government agent who, when he's led to a site, and then that site has a bomb, and the bomb blows up, and it infects him with this virus that upgrade with the limitless virus, basically.
Oh, sweet! I want that. Hell yeah, dude!
And there are things that happen. It goes on into it. It's supposed to be made into a series. I think somebody is trying to option it, or trying to pick it up for a series.
Cool. Let that guy do it. Like
let him do it.
Yeah, he fucking nailed Dark Matter. Let him do that one.
Right.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, 700 million is really impressive. Like, Dune is one of those movies. Like, I feel like we talked about this on the show. The fact that both of our wives were like really into it is the most bizarro thing in the world. Like, my wife is like, this movie got dragons in it. I ain't watching that shit. I'm like, no, but it's really good. It's like, it's House of Dragons. She's like, get out of here, right? So she's not a sci-fi or high fantasy person at all. She got into Severance, and then it was like that kind of really changed her perspective on sci-fi. And then I was like, just saying, I watched a couple episodes of this show. I feel like you would really like it. And then she was like, it's 1 a.m. She's like, 1 more episode. I'm like, I'm exhausted. She was like, come on, we got to fucking finish this. So she's super into it. And now she got into Dune, and she was just like, hell yeah, this is great. So, okay. The ladies like Dune. So good. And look, there's that new show coming out on HBO, right? As you refer to it as Dune of Thrones, which I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna watch the fuck out of this. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Dune of Thrones. Absolutely. If I can get into Game of Thrones, I most certainly can get into Dune of Thrones.
yeah.
Next up on this list, one that I did not see coming, which proves that black dollars do in fact go far. Bob Marley, One Love.
Oh, I think you say Bad Boys 4. Really? No,
Yeah,
but you know what?
yeah.
No, but the thing is, white people really like Bob Marley too. I don't know if this is just black dollars, yo. They do. Hippies love Bob Marley.
Oh, well, I'm not a hippie. Fuck them. The production budget is $70 million. The global budget is $179 million.
Wait, what did it make?
It made a profit of $100 million.
That's surprising.
That is surprising.
Because a lot of people was like, this is not very good.
It wasn't that great. No, it was just a bog standard. It's the Bohemian Rhapsody of reggae biopics, right? Like, all right, it's fine. Some solid performances, I guess, but
yeah,
it's nothing, to write home about.
All right.
Late Night with the Devil. The production budget is so small they don't even know what it is. But
that was supposed to be really good.
It's supposed to be very, very good, and it made $12.3 million globally. The next two, one I'm not surprised by. Bad Boys Ride or Die cost $100 million and made $289 million. Right? Like I'm not surprised by that at all. What I am surprised about, maybe I shouldn't be, the Garfield movie. That movie cost $60 million to make and made $230 million.
Wow.
Garfield?
Yeah, in the modern era, what kids are like, yo, I gotta get that new Garfield. Like, all right. It's weird.
Losers, Mad Max Furiosa Mad Max Saga broke even at $168 million. This movie, I think you had some opinions on. If
my daughter was watching it the other day. It's on streaming already. I was like, yo, this movie is terrible. It's awful.
It made $181 million against a $110 million budget. The Fall Guy, which this is sad because The Fall Guy is actually a solid ass movie.
Yeah, this feels like bad timing. This is like bad timing.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Cost $140 million only, and it made $171. And everybody's favorite movie, Madam Web, cost $80 million to make. I can't believe it made $100 million globally.
I can.
Argyle. Yo, how much do you think Argyle cost to make?
Yo, if that movie cost $200 million, I'm gonna be big mad.
Well, get ready to be big mad.
Yo, come on, yo, 200. You're just throwing money away. You're just throwing it away.
And it only made $96 million globally, according to this website. And The Watchers, which cost $30 million and made $29 million. So, movies aren't quite back yet, but
they're getting there.
They're trying. They are trying. I don't know. Sometimes
you got to change that window. Yo, 45 days is too short. Yo, it's too short.
Right. And look, if you want movies and theaters to succeed, you got to change that window. If you don't give a shit, which I don't think these people do. I think these people they talk about like, oh, the magic of the movies, and when you're here, you're there, and you go to Outback Steakhouse when you're done, or whatever she says in the beginning of those fucking movies, right? Like, part of me doesn't think they really care. Part of me is like,
I just fast forward.
They don't
see. I'm like, all right.
Right. Like they just want you to buy something. They just want you to consume. They just want you to consume, especially if they can con you into paying $20 to rent the movie for 3 days. Right? Like,
yeah. Okay.
Nah.
Like,
nah.
Very weird.
Very, very weird. Next up, the Batman spinoff show Gotham PD and the show Arkham got dropped after HBO executives wanted to, quote, lean harder into marquee characters.
Makes sense.
It does. Matt Reeves recently told Entertainment Weekly that a series centered on the Gotham Police Department and Arkham Asylum were dropped after HBO
There's nothing to
executives.
stop here. Check if the device is on your home Wi-Fi network.
What?
A British woman is talking.
Apparently, Reeves is trying to expand the Batman epic crime universe. I believe that is the official name of the.
Thanks, I hate
of
it.
his.
Okay. Don't put epic in it. Yo. You're not.
That's it. The word epic.
Yo, your movies are too good to talk like this. Like, come on. That's what Zack Snyder's universe should have been called, like the epic Snyderverse. Like, come on. You're a real adult. You make real movies. Like, knock it off. Epic is a dumb fucking name.
So Matt Reeves is quoted as saying, as we were writing the Batman, I was like, hey, you know what? I think there's some cool shows that we could do. It was actually why I wanted to make our deal at Warner Brothers. The Batman spinoff series centered on the Gotham Police Department and was announced in July 2020, backed by Reeves and Boardwalk Empire creator Terrence Winter, who then exited the project. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, the show was going to center on Gotham PD's corruption, specifically around a corrupt cop. Quote, it wasn't going to be a Batman story. It was going to be a story about this corrupt cop. And it was going to be about the worst gang in Gotham, that the worst gang in Gotham were the GCPD. And the cop was going to come across paths he would have touched. I'm tired, guys. And the cop was going to come across paths he would have touched paths with Gordon, who would have been. It would have been some. I hate when people. God, I hate when people quote like what people say verbatim.
Quote. Yeah, don't quote them directly. That makes
it. When people speak, especially when they're speaking stream of conscious. It doesn't look right on the written page, man.
Okay, here let me try to read this this modern Mein Kampf. And it was going to be about how the worst gang in Gotham were the GCPD, and the cop was going to come across paths. He would have touched paths with Gordon, who would have been. It would have been someone to measure him against, but it would have been a battle for the cop's soul. Yeah, just summarize that. Yo, that's insane.
Come on, yo. Like, god damn.
This is variety. Yo. You could do better than that. I know you're trying to stretch the page because y'all suffering too. I get it. Look, that's not a bad premise. We had a number of seasons of what was it, Gotham, right? That was the show on Fox. Just centered around Gordon. Look, here's the thing. Like, the Penguin is I'm intrigued by that show. I know not everyone is, but I have a feeling that show is going to pull in people a lot harder than I think people quite realize. But because it's just kind of like a gangster show, right? People like a gangster show. Look at The Sopranos, for instance. But doing like GCPD and stuff like that works a little bit better in a sort of non-Matt Reeves type universe, like in Gunn's universe, because that stuff is going to be all really hard connected, where you could have bigger characters walk in and out of that thing, right? Like Penguin has the principal major character is the lead, right? So it works. But some cop who's corrupt, you're going, in order to tie it back to Gotham City and the Batman, you're going to have people walking out of that movie, walking out of Penguin into that other part of the universe. And just from a cost perspective, that's not easy to do. So, like, I know Robert Pattinson is rumored to make an appearance in the Penguin, but my guess is that's Bruce Wayne like one time, right? Like, because they can't really afford to get this guy in the suit and all that. Like, that's just too expensive. So it's a little bit harder, but I think if you were doing this in like, if GCPD was a thing that they think is a really cool idea, save it for Gunn's universe, right? And then do something like that, right? Like there was always that talk of doing damage control inside the MCU or something like that. That's fine because you can have those characters like other heroes and villains walk in and out of that show. And it's like, oh, that's kind of fun. But that's as far as you can really do it. Like it's really difficult to do things like that. Just from a Hollywood logistics point of view, I'd imagine. So
yeah.
We shall see.
We shall see. It is very difficult, which is why James Mangold is like, nah, I don't like multi-movie universe building. Like, fuck that. He said it's the enemy. He said it's the enemy and the death of storytelling. He's quoted as saying, I don't do multiverses. He said this when the topic of Johnny Cash appearing in his
multi-movie universes, not multiverse, multi-movie universes.
Quote, I don't do multiverses.
Oh, because the headline, okay, well, fucking Variety again. the headline is multi-movie universe building. Like, those are two very different things, but okay, got it.
Second paragraph, first sentence, he's quoted as saying, I don't do multiverses, Mangold said when the topic of Johnny Cash appearing in his upcoming Bob Dylan movie, A Complete Unknown, came up. Mangold directed Joaquin Phoenix to an Oscar nomination as Johnny Cash in 2005's Walk the Line. The director's Bob Dylan biopic stars Timothée Chalamet as the folk icon. Some hoped Phoenix would pop up as Cash in A Complete Unknown, the name of the movie. Although Mangold did not want any crossovers between the music biopics and cast his Indiana Jones 5-star Boyd Holbrook as Cash instead. He is quoted as saying, it's weird that I've even worked in the world of IP entertainment because I don't like multi-movie universe building. Mangold then added, it's the enemy of storytelling, the death of storytelling. It's more interesting to people the way the Legos connect than the way the story works in front of us. For me, the goal becomes always, what is unique about this film and these characters? Not making you think about some other movie or some other Easter egg or something else, which is all an intellectual act and not an emotional act. You want the movie to work on an emotional level. Last quote here. I refuse. I just can't do it. The amount of lore and Easter eggs and fan service starts to become antithetical to any of this stuff. Stop moving. It isn't storytelling anymore. It's large scale advertising. Look, man, I like all this stuff too, but he's right.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
He is right. And look, what's everybody's favorite X-Men movie? Logan.
Yeah, it's a solid. It's its solo thing.
It's its own thing, man. It's its own thing. Like I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I don't like these references, right? Like, of course I do, right? But at the same time, that was the MCU's problem in the very, very beginning, right? With like Iron Man 2, right? They're too busy trying to throw in like, oh, is that the shield? Is that Captain America's shield, right? Like they're too busy trying to throw all that shit in there, and they forgot to tell an interesting or a compelling, a gripping story.
Right.
And they kind of leveled themselves out a bit, but I basically I don't think James Mangold is a big Deadpool fan. Because I haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet.
Imagine no, he's not.
I have to imagine that movie is just going to be nothing but reference after reference after reference. I just hope it's not. I hope it's not on the Ready Player One level of like just naming shit.
Yes, it's like, all right. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to read American Psycho, the book, like. His sort of stream of consciousness, like as he's like, this person's wearing this suit, blah, 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 like, and just breaking it down. The book is like that. And it goes into excruciating detail of everything that he sees. And he's like, this person's is wearing this with these type of shoes and this type of shirt. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to blow my fucking brains out. Yeah, if that's going to be its hardest hurdle, right? Is it's supposed to be this metaverse joke kind of thing, but that can get overdone really fast if you don't break it up with enough action and again, some compelling storytelling. Now, look, James Mangold, a journeyman's director, barely done anything good, as we all know. He's absolutely correct about this, right? Like, the dude has made some pretty goddamn amazing films, to say the least. And I mean that outside of any of, like, Logan, like 3:10 to Yuma, for instance, is fucking phenomenal. So, and Walk the Line, by the way, was a great movie. I do think that the sort of multiverse movies and multi-movies and all this other stuff, it can really hurt a film. If you're, like you said, in the beginning of the MCU, they got overwrought with that idea. And you have to then, and their best way they corrected that was getting very different directors later on. Like, Gunn is a very different director than Kenneth Branagh was, right? Like, it's just wildly different. And that can make those movies feel unique and tell their own story. And then you need somebody to weave the shit all together, right? Like, you need a Russo brothers type of thing. And that should be the focus, right? Like, they of course, on the margins, you can have the references or whatever, but the focus always has to be on telling a great single story one at a time. And then once you do that, you throw in a couple of, like, I feel like the references should almost be in pickup shots, right? Like, just tell that story and then do the references in pickup shots. And then at the end of the day, when you need to get a big Avengers movie or something like that, you get somebody to go, okay, this one, and pull those threads, start to pull those threads all together. But you're aiming towards a goal, obviously, too, at the same time. But it's like, I think that's part of the reason the original DC universe died. And it died a terrible death because they were so busy trying to tell the next story that they didn't successfully tell the story you were watching, right? And it hurt them significantly. Like, that's why, to me, Man of Steel feels so wildly different than the other ones, because the second they finished that one solid story and they weren't trying to do anything else, once they finished that, everything was connecting into that. And the next thing was connecting hard into the next thing. And it was like, I know we just got Superman. Can you just do like one movie? Like, just do a solo Batman movie by itself and then connect it at the end. Like, you could have done that, but they rushed immediately from Man of Steel to Wonder Woman and Batman and Doomsday and Lex Luthor all in the same movie. I'm like, yo, that's too many things. Like, that's too many things.
To the death of Superman, yo.
Right. Bye. Grand opening, grand closing. Like, that's fucking insane. When you really think about it, that's a wild second movie. No one's ever done this. There's a reason they didn't do it in the second movie. Like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, it was a little nuts. That, again, I know they were trying to do something different, but that universe could have really benefited from a Superman movie, a Batman movie, a Wonder Woman movie, then bring them together. That's what, like, instead of trying to get to Justice League, they should have just got to the Trinity. That would have actually been a smarter move, because then when you got those three nailed, you can kind of fast track the other ones pretty quickly. Like, did you need an Aquaman movie? Probably not. Did you need a Flash movie? Not before he showed up. You didn't. Right? So you could have expanded the universe out, but they were so rushing to get all the Justice League together. The Trinity should have been what your focus was. Like,
I don't know why. Like, if they had forethought, right? If they had forethought, you would have done Man of Steel. You would have introduced Bruce Wayne at the very end of it, right? Like, because he's the world's greatest detective, right? Like, he can sleuth out who the hell Superman is, right? Like, that's his superpower. And it would have been just like that scene in The Incredible Hulk when Robert Downey Jr. comes in and meets Thunderbolt Ross. And he's just like, oh, we're trying to put a team together, right? He could have been the one walking around, like, gathering these meta-humans.
Right.
And to your point, you only have to do it for, like, the Superman movie, the Wonder Woman movie, have him come in and be like, hey, I'm trying to do something, right? And then you can have your Batman movie, and at the end of your Batman movie, he realizes like, I've been secretly working on a project, and he brings in Superman and Wonder Woman, and he's like, I'm secretly working on a project, and it's codenamed the Watchtower, right? Because I think we need to be able to like this thing is bigger than me. Like,
right,
I'm the shit.
Getting larger, right?
Right. The threats are getting huge, but there are more of us out there. And then at the end of his movie, then you can do a Justice League movie. And then it just, I mean, look, hindsight is 2020, but like forethought is
also
pretty fucking fair too. So
I don't know, like 2,200, like Jesus Christ, 'cause you guys were like, I don't know where the hell you were, but it'll be interesting to see what Gunn does, right? Because we know, and not to get too far into the weeds on that, but we know for a fact that guy is focused on doing Superman first and bringing in all these other heroes, most of which we've never seen on live action screen before, like in as far as the movies go. And it's clear that like he's got plans. Like it's so funny. He's very leery about talking about Paradise Lost, which is clearly the Wonder Woman Themyscira focused project. But I feel like he doesn't want to piss people off that they tossed Gal Gadot. I'm like, I think it's okay to say that now. Like, it's not a loss. She's the worst actress of the three principal characters in that universe. But I think the goal should be nail the Trinity first. If you get them down first and people really like all three of those actors and those characters and how they're portrayed, you can damn near do anything after that. Because most people don't really know, like you're like average Joes, they don't really know the other characters. They really don't. Yeah. Like, I know Green Lantern's got a fucking green ring and can make shit. Okay, do you know all of the different Green Lanterns? Can you name 3 of them? Most people can't, right? So, like, have fun with it, but you got to nail down, like, his priority is Superman. That makes all the sense in the world, and then go down from there. But, like, once Superman comes out, you got Supergirl, I think, coming out soon after that. Batman should be right after it, right? Like, expand that story and then go right into Batman and then whatever into Paradise Lost, however that's going to work. I don't know. We don't have any details on it. All right. Okay. Let's jump down into topics, even more topics. Tyler Perry dismisses critics of his films. Quote, "Who are you to be able to say which black story is important?" I'll take this one. That's not the complaint, though. It's not that we're telling you that they're not important. We're telling you they're told poorly. Like, I don't have a problem with people telling stories of, like, divorce in the black. That's a perfectly fine story to tell. It's not told well. It's weird. Like, you're arguing a thing people are not arguing. Which is probably
that's by design, right? That's by design. He's doing that on purpose, right? Because he's trying to. People know. Look, he knows that people bag on his movies not for their subject matter, right? But for their execution. But you can't. But you can't tell him that, right? Like, because he's a billionaire, right? So you can't tell him shit. But at the same time, like, he knows it, and I think he's a bit insecure about it, which is why this is a classic deflection, right? Yeah. Like, all these highbrow critics are talking about, I can't make these movies and about my community, and I like, nah, yo,
that's not what we're saying.
Talking about that, yo. We're not talking about that. We just wish they were a little better.
Yeah,
just written a little better. Just take some time. Like, you're putting them in the oven and you're putting them on broil. Like, yo, like, just like, yo, can we bake it first, yo?
Like, nah. Broil on high. Like, okay, is this gonna burn the top? Like, that's all that's gonna happen. And then the shit is just not cooked in the middle. He's like, yeah, but the top is done, and that's all that matters. Oh, you tasted it, didn't you? All right, then I got paid. Shut up. That really is a perfect analogy for him. Quote, a large portion of my fans are disenfranchised who cannot get into, look, this next statement, I'm a little personally offended, okay? It says, a large portion of my fans are disenfranchised who cannot get in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend. One, I don't go to therapy on the weekends. Fuck you. You've got this highbrow Negro, excuse me, who is all up in the air with his nose up looking at everything. Then you got people like where I come from and me who are grinders, who really know what it's like, whose mothers were caregivers for white kids and were maids, housekeepers, beauticians. Don't discount these people and say their stories don't matter. Who are you to tell? Who are you to say which black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that bullshit. Again, we're not saying those stories shouldn't be told. There are other people who also tell those stories, and they take time and care to make them very, very good. Yeah, I don't like that.
One could argue
like
there are
you, you're a billionaire.
One could argue there are way too many black stories like this being told, and it is like that because it is the experience that a lot of black people have in this country. We're going to talk about a trailer later on. It's a black movie, and it is a hard ass story. And that trail, but it is also an uplifting one. It is not it. I guarantee you, I haven't seen anything about this movie. I just looked it up today and thought this is kind of interesting. I'm gonna let people know about it. I guarantee you, ain't no family carrying a dead body out of a funeral.
You don't know.
Fuck does that? Did you?
You're speaking from a place of ignorance. You don't know.
I am speaking from a place of profound ignorance. I guarantee you.
I hope so.
They ain't got nobody pulling a dead body out of a casket after they done stripped down and haul a dead body out of a church. Yeah, it just is not happening. It's not. Like what? Yeah. Like what experience? What kind of experience did you have that led you to that scene?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the greatest scenes of all time, but it's
a wild scene, yo. It's a wild scene for a very
mediocre
movie.
Yeah, for a movie. I mean, look. So he goes on to say, if you let somebody talk you out of wait, hold on. Is that the quote I want? Quote, I had one goal. I needed to make money to take care of my mother because she was ill. I wanted to retire her. She was working with a bunch of kids, and kids are little petri dishes for germs. That's fair. She was always constantly sick, and she had diabetes. So all my entire focus was, let me make enough money to take care of her. Look, I think that's admirable. He also goes on to say, if you let somebody talk you out of a place that God has put you in, you are going to find yourself in hell. I know for a fact, okay. Is that coupled with the sentence you just said before? Weird. I know for a fact that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, because for everyone who is a critic, I have thousands what used to be emails from people saying, this changed my life. Oh my God, you know me. Oh my God, you saw me. How did you know this about my life and family? This is what is important to me. I don't have any problem with any of that. I am sure that people have come to you and said, hey man, I see myself in those characters and stuff like that. There's no problem. No problem. We have received messages and saying, hey, your shows have like helped us when we're like not doing so great and stuff like that. That's great. But what I would say is my argument against your movies isn't that you are providing that service, is that you make fast, cheap, fucking McDonald's version movies, and I know you could do better. I know you could do better. And we talked about in the last movie, Divorce in the Black, because there's a fucking scene in that movie that Micah pointed out that is incredibly well written and well performed. You have it in you, but you're so busy rushing out more product, more widgets. Dude, just hire a writing team. You got like 97 shows. You're not putting that much effort into them. I've seen clips of them. Trust me, you're not. And then why don't you focus and make, like, instead of cranking out 3-4 movies a year, which is fucking insane, why don't you focus on making one movie? a year, or one every other year, right? Didn't he have like at least 2 movies? He does at least 2 movies a year, which is pretty wild. So his movies take what? A couple weeks to shoot? 3 weeks to shoot? You know, it's like if you're not
they're all
rushing,
done in less than a month.
right? So like, take longer in the writing process. Collaborate with other Black writers. We talked about that on that episode. Like, do some other cool shit. And again, I don't have a problem with you telling the stories. I may even think some of the stories are a bit silly, but you telling the stories and those being the sort of representative of, you know, a particular Black person you grew up with or a different aspect of Blackness, I got no problems with that. That's absolutely okay. I don't need everything to be super high and highbrow shit, but I do think that the person who is probably the most known Black director in the United States, maybe even the world at this point, should take some care before he throws out his products. I do think that. So I don't know why that should even be an argument. But again, he is deflecting and trying to argue something else that no one is arguing. So
yeah, I'll be interested to see how 6888 is. He's done his 2 movies for this year, Mea Culpa, and Divorcing the Black. His next movies are 6888, which is the period piece, and then Medea's Destination Wedding. So we'll see.
yeah. All right. I will not see a Medea movie. I'm good. Thanks. You got it. Yeah, that's fucking all you, bro. Next up, Kevin Feige weighs in on trying to crack the new Blade movie. He says R rating is likely. He says, look, quote, I mean, for the last 2 years, we've been trying to crack the movie. The most important thing for us is not rushing it and making sure we are making the right Blade movie. He continued, because there are some great Blade movies years ago. There's one great Blade movie. They were all rated R. So I think that's like Deadpool inherent with the character of Blade. Okay. I think we talked about this before, but I'll reiterate. I think your principal actor is too close to the product. I think he is. And he's got his hands too involved. And that's why you can't crack this. You're either going to have to lose him or he has to kind of be reined in. And I know we all love Mahershala Ali, so we don't want to say anything bad, but that doesn't mean that like him being hyper involved in this movie is good for the movie. It doesn't mean that. So I think that's the biggest issue. Him going and find his own directors and shit like that. And that's not good. Now that doesn't mean those scripts for the writing were great. I don't know. I have not seen them. And by the way, neither does anyone else who said, oh, this was definitely the script. You don't know that. That's all an assertion. So I have no idea, but it does feel like Mahershala Ali is a little too close to the product and is controlling it in a way that Marvel movies are normally not controlled by actors. And that's exactly why DC shit went to garbage.
I mean, if the reports of him saying that he wanted this to be his like Black Panther, yeah, that's that's. I mean, you're already behind the 8 ball with a generation of people, right? Because their Blade is Wesley Snipes, right? Like, so I kind of get that, like, yeah, you want to make this character your own, but at the same time, right? Like, and I respect the fact that he is like incredibly like serious about his work. Like he seems like a very serious person, right? But yeah, I don't know. At the same time, right? Like producers gotta like produce. Like this is on Kevin Feige, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're gonna have to rein him in. You're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to rein him in. And look, this guy, he doesn't want to lose Mahershala Ali, right? Like I get it, right? Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
This guy's a great actor. They already lost a really good actor. They definitely don't want to lose this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I don't know, a Blade movie. I don't think a Blade movie needs to be like I don't think a Blade movie needs to necessarily move the culture forward.
It does not.
What I mean? This is, there was something about Black Panther that, he is a superhero. He's from Africa. You know what I mean? Like
Right. A whole
it
different.
hit right. It's something that like that the idea kind of moves the culture forward, right? Like Blade is dope, yo. Like he is, but it's a vampire movie, yo. I don't know.
Like that's it. It's just a badass vampire. Like, and it's dope. I'm excited for it, but like, it's not Black Panther. Like, there are certain characters who carry a lot more heavy weight with them, and there's other characters like this dude's just a fucking badass, and like we're excited to see him. Like that's it. That's it.
That's it, man.
It's literally not much more serious than that. Kevin Feige also on record saying that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine return proves that Robert Downey Jr.'s coming back as Iron Man can be done if great care is taken. I don't like it. I don't like that statement. I don't like it.
Thank you.
I don't like it. Yo, look, I love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I really did. I thought him as Tony Stark was dope as fuck. It was great. But he earned that death. He earned it, He earned it. Like,
I'm not saying the character got to die, right? I'm not saying the character got to die with him. I'm saying Robert Downey Jr. had a great moment, and he picked up this. He started this thing, right? Like he helped usher in this whole thing, and he had his character had a tremendous arc. From the most selfish man in the world to the most selfless man in the world.
Right, quite literally.
And that character, like you said, earned the right to take a bow and head on out. And when you do something like that, you don't necessarily need an encore. Like the character don't have to die. You can always bring the character back, right?
But like him coming back it doesn't feel like a good idea. And look, I will give you one out. I will give you one out of that statement, which is if it's a multiverse situation and all the Secret War shit happens and he comes back and it's a Tony Stark and he's playing Tony Stark and it's Tony Stark from a different universe and he's just like, hey, what the fuck is all this and all, and he's completely foreign to everything. I'm gonna give you a pass on that as a one and done. But if you're gonna have a Tony Stark from another universe show up, and that person's going to stick around, it cannot be him. It can't be him. Because by the way, that's the easiest time to redo the actor, right? Look, you can find a Robert Downey Jr. like type actor, right? Who people like and they're cool with him. But it can't be Robert Downey Jr. Like that's the problem is that actor carried the MCU through thick and thin. Him and Chris Evans carried that shit all the way to carry that bitch to term, right? Like they did. And they did an amazing job. And him earning that death, that's what made the fucking movie, man. Like that scene, there's all the fighting and all this other shit. At the end of the day, like I was thinking about it, like Thanos saying, I am inevitable, right? Is a dope line, right? It's a bar, as the kids say. But in reality, like outside of the movie universe, he is death. I am inevitable, right? Like don't correct me on the fucking comic book story. I'm not talking about that. But Thanos represents death. Like that is ultimately what he represents, right? I'm inevitable. I'm going to kill all of you motherfuckers. That is what's going to happen. It doesn't matter what universe you go to, right? I am inevitable also speaks to Downey's end. It is inevitable that character has to die. That's his arc. So it doesn't matter what you did, how much you love this character, how much you spent time with this character, and how many times you watched this whole series. At the end of the day, his death is inevitable, right? So let him die. Just let that character be dead. Or let the actor playing that character be dead. So Feige says this is key, right? How do you do it in a way that maintains what has come before and in a great way? And when we've been spending, the last 2+ years figuring out for Wolverine. So what's to come? We'll see. We're just proud that we, I think, have figured this out for Wolverine. I think Hugh's appearance and starring role in Deadpool and Wolverine is a great sign that it can be done if great care is taken. And he goes on to talk about, Downey and Evans and everything else. Yeah,
I mean, that's a nothing quote, right? Like that's a nothing quote. He's just kind of he's hedging his bets there. And I get it, right? Like you don't want to say no because, like,
hell no.
While I believe we are reasonable, most people are not, and they would love for the quote unquote good old days of the MCU to come back because people love nostalgia, right? Like people love nostalgia so much that they pretend to really like those amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, that you guys hated on. You hated
one, you hated on them, and two, half of you hated on them, and two, the other half was too young for them. Like they don't really remember them, right? So, yeah, look, I'm not a huge fan of. I get why he's saying this. I kind of hope that he doesn't. That this is just him kind of paying people lip service. Yeah. And look, maybe I'll change my mind after I see Deadpool and Wolverine, and I see Hugh Jackman, as Wolverine. Right. But yeah, I don't. No, I don't necessarily like. You got something new, like stick with it, man. Stick with it. You keep reminding people of the past. That's all they're going to keep doing. Is just, and your new stuff will never get off the ground. Yep. It's not fair to all your new stuff, right? Like you're trying to be all new, all different, right? You introducing all these minorities and stuff. Excuse me. It's not fair. Like don't keep reminding people of just go forward. Just. Forever forward always. Always forward always. Whatever the fucking quote is.
Yeah, you got it right. So, like, it's I don't know. I do have a question though. I don't know that this has been answered. Is Hugh Jackman is he the Wolverine for the MCU now? Or is this a one and done?
I would imagine that this is a one and done. I would imagine that everything in Deadpool is a one-off. Like, I don't think Deadpool, to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't read any reviews. I haven't seen any reviews other than a couple of scores. But I haven't seen anyone or heard anyone's take on the movie.
Sure.
I would imagine this is more of the Fox's Endgame. Right. I would imagine this is Fox's version of we're going to bring all your favorites back for one last ride. And then this is it. Right.
And then done.
Fox universe is done. Right. Yeah. And then Deadpool can come in wherever, whenever, whatever.
Yeah. I'm curious. Obviously Deadpool is going to make the leap into the standard MCU. Is Wolverine going to? Because how is that going to work? You know what I mean? We now know that there is another universe where Beast exists, right? Which would technically kind of weirdly be in the same universe Wolverine is from. So I'm curious about that. I honestly do not know what the plan here is, but I mean, look, I'm willing to sit and fucking watch and find out. I know people talk really definitively about this stuff, but I'm I have not heard anybody say that this is going to be he's going to be the MCU's Wolverine. So I
can't imagine he would. I can't
pretty
imagine.
Old.
You gotta, that's what I'm saying, man. This is going to be a love letter to those Fox movies. That's all
Yeah,
this is
okay.
going to be.
I hope so. Like I'm fine with that. But like, I mean, I like Hugh Jackman a lot as Wolverine. I think he's a lot of fun to watch. But it's time to get a younger actor, yo. Like I'm sorry, I don't need. Is he playing old man Wolverine? And then there's like a younger Wolverine. That's fine, I guess. But like, you're gonna need somebody if you're doing an X-Men movie. You're gonna need somebody in that role who's not 50 plus years old. I'm just saying, like it feels weird to me. But we'll see. All right, let's jump into What the Fuck, brought to you by JTD from the Edit That Out podcast.
Over a dozen students are hospitalized after eating a ghost pepper-infused chips. 14 high school students in this place were recently hospitalized with stomach aches, nausea, and mouth...
See?
Sorry, guys, I'm dying. And mouth pain, sharing a bag of potato chips infused with Jolukia peppers.
Obviously.
On July 16th around 12:40 p.m. An emergency call was made after several first-year students in this high school.
All right, now this is Midwest America, where the spiciest thing they have is mayonnaise. I'd be shocked to know.
Nope, not at all.
Wow.
This is in Tokyo, Japan.
Well, they don't really fuck with spicy food there either, do they? Not that I know of.
Tuna,
is that it?
I've never been to Japan, but we had a sushi chef come to our house to
this guy's so
teach us
rich.
how to make sushi.
Wow, so
and my wife is rich. My wife is rich. I'm a trophy husband. And which is why I don't understand why you dudes are all like, women needs to do what I say. Like, no,
I'm good.
She worked. I'm good. I got a private sushi chef coming to my house. Like, I don't even have to go to him. What the fuck? I'm living the good life.
Yeah, life's good. Women should be president. This sounds awesome. Yeah.
But he gave us some wasabi, and it was the hottest wasabi I've ever had.
It's probably the first time you've had real wasabi, honestly.
Yeah, it was real wasabi.
Yeah, not like, horseradish that they dye green. It's such a fucking scam.
It really is, yo.
That's what they do, yo. Like, anytime, I've had wasabi. No, the fuck you haven't. In America, no, you haven't. Yeah, horseradish.
I mean, goddamn. Like, it's just like a speck of it. Just a speck of it. And it was just like, oh shit, what is this? Like, it was actual real wasabi, yo. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh, all right.
All right, so I guess that's as hot as it gets. And then they had a ghost pepper and it shut a whole fucking university down. Like, wow.
The students ended up in the emergency room, treated for their mild symptoms, and released later that day. The press reported that some of the students collapsed in the school infirmary.
All right. Yo, get a life, yo. Come on. You fucking punks. Come on. You collapsed. Oh, my butt hurt. Come on, knock it off.
The incident is being promoted as a cautionary tale for students considering trying such spicy snacks.
That's hilarious. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's a cautionary tale, like taking heroin. Like, don't do it. It's gonna ruin your life. You're gonna end up on the wrong side of the tracks. Okay,
yeah, it's just gonna clean out your system, guys. One way or the other, it's just gonna clean out your system.
Absolutely. Yikes. All right. Man, not fucking around. Japan kids, cowards. Don't come for me. All right, my story. A popular traditional dish consumed in these two places. You guess either one. You win the round. Is said to be responsible for the deaths of around 20,000 people every year. Considered a salad, this fish consists of minced raw fish, lemon juice, herbs, and spices. As you might have guessed, the fish is the problematic ingredient in this dish, although technically it's the parasites living in the fish. It's most common. I'm sorry?
India.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
This is the koi pla fish. See if I'd give you the name. You could at least-
Well, then it's Japan then, right?
No, it's not, but it's in that region. It's in Thailand and in Laos. The koi pla is most commonly made with raw freshwater fish from the Mekong Basin, which is often infested with parasitic flatworms known as live flukes. The parasites have long been known to cause one of the most aggressive types of cancer known to man.
Just don't look
Okay.
good, man.
You get
Just
bile
don't look good.
duct. No, it does not. You get bile duct cancer, which causes the death of around 20,000 people in Thailand alone. Yet you still keep eating it. I do not understand. It's a very big health burden around here. The people are this goddamn dumb, says this person. But nobody knows about this because they die quietly like leaves falling from a tree. Jesus Christ. Kuntikio, Narong Kuntikio, whose parents both died of duct cancer after a lifetime of eating koi pla, has spent many years traveling Thailand's rural northeast and warning people about the dangers of consuming the cheap but dangerous fish. Unfortunately, the traditional fish dish is so popular in Thailand, Isan region, that getting people to stop eating it is incredibly hard. Some people will just say, oh, well, there's many ways to die. All right, man. Best of luck. Fuck that.
Nah, yo. Nah.
This fish gives you cancer. Do you want some? I don't. All right. Next question.
There are also many ways to, not die.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Like not by not eating this. Also, this is. I'm sorry, yo. Maybe it's just my terrible American palate, but like this looks like some shit you chewed up and spat out.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nah.
No, that's.
And then it can give you cancer. Like it don't even look good. Like if it looked good, then I'm like, all right. Yeah, presentation is half of it, folks.
Yeah,
like,
it really is. I'm good. Me no like. I'm all stocked up on that. I saw another story just quickly. Look, I'm gonna try to have to explain the story without being a prick. I immediately apologize. Do you know what a mukbang is, Micah? I know you do.
A mukbang?
Yeah, you don't know what a mukbang is?
I do not know what a mukbang is.
A mukbang is eating large quantities of food for viewers' enjoyment, right? Where the people fucking like the Nick Avocado guy, he just like eats like a bunch of food online and people watch it. It's disgusting. It's a really disgusting thing and people shouldn't do it. Well, a 24-year-old in China, 24-year-old Chinese streamer specializing in mukbangs, recently died during her live stream while consuming too much food. That's insane. China cracked down on mukbang streams and videos in 2020 in a bid to reduce overeating and shameful food waste, which offenders risking fines of up to $1,400, real money bucks. However, mukbang streams are still incredibly popular in Asian countries and on YouTube, by the way. You can watch them. With thousands of people putting their lives at risk by stuffing their faces with insane amounts of food for viewers. So this woman had been doing this for a while, and then she literally died at 24 years old doing mukbangs. Please stop doing them. They are awful. So
is this like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, but just like for regular food?
Yeah, but there's not. It's not a competition. It would be like me just sitting here eating all of the menu at KFC. Like that's what they do. Like they go and order everything at KFC and then they eat all of it. That seems disgusting to me. See?
All right, man. All right.
Anything for clout. Anything for
clout. We live in a terrible world, man. God damn.
Hey, you want to just eat? Damn. You want to eat all of the menu of McDonald's for viewers? No, I don't. Fuck them. Why would I do that? That's terrible. Shit my pants for everybody. Get out of here. All right, trailers this week. Raw Peace. This is a film directed by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and also starring him and Jay Will. Tells a story about a story of a brilliant young man torn between his father's shadowed past and his own promising future, raised by his devoted mother, played by Mary J. Blige, who was like acting in this trailer. Rob risks everything he has worked for to free his imprisoned father. I think this looks excellent. This really, really looks quite good. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was just looking for trailers and I happened to see this and I was like, oh, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I like that guy. You know, he's really good in everything. And I saw it and I was like, wow, this actually looks really good. It looks like one of those black stories that can be told without, shenanigans or clunky dialogue or poor pacing or bad acting. It's getting some pretty decent scores on Rotten Tomatoes. And yeah, man, I'm actually looking forward to reviewing this sometime in the future on Black on Black Cinema.
Yeah, this comes out August 16th. Yeah, that looks very good. And I think this is his directorial debut. I don't know that he's directed anything else. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that's dope. I always like to, and it's based on a book, by the way. I always like to see great actors take on directing because they generally have such a great eye because they appreciate the art so much. So it's dope to see him trying his hand at this. Next up, as you wrote on the docket, the final trailer, the finale trailer for a movie you forgot was releasing. Yeah, I forgot Borderlands was a thing. This looks terrible. We talked about this before when the first trailer came out. So nothing has changed. But this feels like this should have been a TV show, not a movie.
Yeah, this movie comes out August 9th, yo.
Wow.
Like I totally forgot this movie was coming out. And look, you haven't played any of the Borderlands games.
Not much, no.
The problem is this seems pretty accurate to the games. You don't really play these games for their story. They don't really have much of a story. The things that get you through the game is like the actual playing of the game, right? Like it feels good. The shooting feels good. And it's got all these guns with different feels to them and stuff. The thing that kind of keeps you going are the characters. And not even all the characters, right? Because your character is pretty much on mute. So this game kind of thrives on its antagonists. And there's only been one antagonist that everyone really likes. The character's name is Handsome Jack. And Handsome Jack's a real dickhead, right? And but he's really funny. And I don't see any of that in this. I'm not talking about Handsome Jack. I don't necessarily need Handsome Jack to be in this movie, but I do need like funny. And this doesn't look funny. I've been out on Borderlands for a while. Like as I get older, like this type of humor doesn't really hit me the same way.
Oh yeah, no, this is a solid 16-year-old demographic.
Yeah, which is really funny, seeing as how like the main characters are like the youngest is like 44. And that's Kevin Hart, right? Like Kate Blanchett is playing one of these characters. She's in her 50s. Gina Gershon is playing one of these characters. She's in her 60s. Jamie Lee Curtis is playing one of these characters. She's in her, 70s?
Yeah.
And it just is not that, age is preventing them from like doing what they need to do, but like it's these old people like doing these in this movie with like fart jokes and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
it's weird.
like Kate Blanchett is too good for this show. Like she
is. What the fuck?
and she was in a Thor movie, yo. Like
She was really good in that movie, though. Like she was.
Right, she really was. But I don't think she's good enough to elevate this.
No. And look, this is gonna sound wild. I think Kevin Hart might be too good for this movie. Like, yo, like, come on, yo. Like, I know he does a lot of like bullshit, but at least it's normally not. Well, you know what? No, I retract that statement. Now this is
seriously, don't retract it because Kevin Hart has been in a couple of things that I'm like, yo, is that Kevin Hart?
I mean, he has a bit of dramatic acting.
Films. Yeah, he's done some dramatic stuff. He's done that one dramatic film with Bryan Cranston. Yeah, he was in Fatherhood. He did this show where he played like a fictionalized version of himself.
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes was his do nothing nigga brother.
Yeah,
and that was pretty good. Like Kevin Hart can do. Now, I don't think Kevin Hart is going to be particularly funny in this. The character he's playing is not particularly funny. The character he's playing takes himself very, very seriously. So,
and maybe that's the point. Like to have him playing the straight man.
Which, okay, I mean, that generally doesn't work when you have people who are so one type play against that type. Like, it just, like, remember when Marky Mark was a high school teacher in The Happening? What? Huh? What is it? The trees?
The trees.
Huh? I hate Asian people. What? Like, it just doesn't, like, it didn't work, you know?
Yeah, very strange.
I don't know. This movie feels like a Netflix movie in all the worst ways, man.
It feels like it was created via committee, and I'm 100% here to not watch it. That looks awesome. Just real quick, this is the newest trailer for Joker 2. I think this looks good. I really do. We get a little bit more sense of Lady Gaga's character, playing Harley. Yeah, this comes out October 4th. There's some weirdness, like he's walking around in a trial, and I'm like, isn't he the criminal? That's not how trials work, unless it's all like rigged up or something with like explosives. I'm fine with this. I like I said in the Discord, like I think it was really cool to hate on this movie, the original, which turned out to be like a pretty decent movie in my opinion. I don't think it's like a cultural touchstone like some people think, which is fucking weird, and it's not like my personality. But I am interested to see what they do with this, especially with the idea of it being a musical. I think it's a clever way to try to do something different, and I'm okay with this. I'm looking forward to Gunn's version of the Joker and what that looks like, but I'm also totally fine with this existing too. So it's fine.
I still haven't seen the first Joker.
Yeah.
So I'll try to watch it before this comes out.
It's the most important. Is there anything more important than Joker right now? It's just like, dude, that clip is so hilarious. That guy has never seen a woman's breast ever. Not on the internet. Really weird. That was really weird. Yeah. So yeah, you should check it out. And I think if you like it enough, this will probably then going back and watching the trailer, like, all right, this is interesting enough. So again, I think it looks interesting. I think it looks good. What the fuck are we doing? There's a trailer for Rebel Moon, the director's cut, official Red Band trailer. And look, guys, I don't know if you know this. This movie is really violent. Can you tell? You take this one. Fuck off. You and take this shit to my attention.
14 seconds in, right? Why does this robot have childbearing hips and a thigh gap, yo? Like, it's fucking odd.
Yo, that is super weird. I thought you meant Anthony Hopkins' character. Like, nah, that's what.
No, this is just a
He
robot.
wants to fuck that robot. Like that's weird.
Right. He wants to fuck this robot, yo. Like, and it's not like the robot is like looks like a woman. No, it looks like a robot. Like it has no like face, and it you know, it's not like a moving sex doll. It's like C-3PO with childbearing hips and a thigh gap, yo. Like it just
Yuck.
this movie this is the quote unquote true vision of what Zack Snyder has wanted to do. To that I say, why was this not the first movie? Like,
Yeah.
why was this not like your vision from the start, right? And that's why I won't watch this, because he's taken the whole director's cut thing, rebranded it as the Snyder cut, where people are like, oh yeah, where's the Snyder cut of this such and such movie, not directed by Zack Snyder, right? Like he's trying to like make that a thing. Yeah. And because and that is disingenuous. And because that is disingenuous, because he's doing that, he's being disingenuous. I refuse to watch this, even for a hate watch or anything like that. No. Now look, it's got all the slow-mo. It's got the weird like muted colors, but like oversaturated muted colors. I know that doesn't make any sense, but
no, it's like weird. When you look at it, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You know, you see this woman who gets her stabbed a bunch, and there's blood gushing out her throat.
Look, guys, I'm in a Zack Snyder movie. Look at me right here. Look at the video. This is me.
Right, that's it. Right, yeah.
I'm going to leave it like this and see if anyone can have an aneurysm while they're watching the video.
Apparently the machines here are powered by some sort of coal and fire, but like they're tossing skeletons in there it's super bloody.
I saw an eyeball fly through to the screen. Amazing.
The scene at where the Darth Vader character kind of has to be reborn at 108 is something straight out of like Bible Black or some shit, right? Where there's this fucking tentacle just going into this guy's mouth. It looks like you see more of the actual Colosseum. Remember when we were like, hey, well, like, why is this black Obi-Wan Kenobi, like he's supposed to be some badass general and his drunk ass is just sitting around like not doing nothing? There's a lot more sex in it. There's a lot more overt Nazism in it. There's chanting for some strange reason.
Yeah, he's into the chanting. Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
The Aquaman thing, and just like a bunch of weird old white women like, come to the shore, Aquaman, and he's like, I gotta go. Like, okay, like why is that a thing? I don't care.
Zack's true vision. Go fuck yourself, dude.
You could have made your true vision, yo. You could have made it. This is trash. I think everyone has figured out the grift. Let me rephrase it. Everyone not in the cult has figured out the grift. No. And look, I'm sure there are going to be people that say, no, this one is better than the other one. You should watch it. I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because I'm not giving this guy 4 more hours of my time. I barely made it through the first one. I did not watch the second one. I'm not watching this one, and I'm not watching the second Snyder cut. I don't like that you change the names of the movies. Like, you just do these other movies. Like, this is nonsense. By the way, almost no scene in that trailer is from the original movie. It's like he filmed a completely different film.
Yeah, which begs the question, like why did you do the first 2 in the first place, right? Like, you could have done a different ass story, or you could have like just done your true vision see if it took off, and you could have been doing more of these things. Like, it just seems like an incredible waste of time
That is
to
correct.
do those first two movies, only to do this one, chapter 1 and 2 of this one. Like, that's what's really pissing me off, yo. Like,
You're wasting
like,
your time. You're wasting your audience's time.
your time. You're wasting everyone's time and money. Like, why? I don't know, man. It didn't go to theaters, so it just, I don't know, man. Awful lot of fucking slow motion. I would have gave this movie a shot if it came out, if this was the first one. If I didn't see that first one, I would have given this a shot. But nah, man, I can't. I can't. Somebody take the book away from him. Take the pen away from him, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't need this. Again, this is like classic dude bro nonsense. Like, it's really good because it's really violent and there's like boobs in it. You need more than just lasers and blood, yo, and tits. Like, you do. I'm sorry. Again, I watched the first one. It's some of the worst storytelling I've seen in a long time. It was awful. And so no thanks. I'm good. Enjoy. You guys have fun. They didn't even, like, this is how I know that this is very similar to the Snyder Cut and that it's completely new shit that he filmed. None of this was originally planned. None of it was. He just has a stream of consciousness and he's just like, what if I put this in? What if I put this in? Like, that's why it doesn't end, which is why, by the way, you should just do shows. Like, then you can just keep coming up with new shit every season. Stop doing movies. Dude, I'm sure Netflix would have had no problem in paying you the same insane amount of money to cut this up as shows, and then just every season you can just add into the story. And just, you got new ideas, just add it in. It's not a Snyder Cut. It's just the fucking show. That's fine. I wouldn't even be mad at you for that. I'm not sure I'd watch it, but at least that would make sense. Now you're just wasting people's time. So now I'm mad. Like, get out of here.
yeah.
This
This world isn't interesting to me. I'm sure some
Not at
people
all.
might find it interesting, but this particular world isn't, like, I don't know, like is it going to follow the same beats of the first one? Like, because like you said, like,
I do.
I don't see anything in this I don't see any scene in this trailer that was in that first movie from what I can remember. And I think Terrence saw both of them.
Yeah, he did.
And he said he didn't see anything that reminded him of this. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Cool. You guys have fun with all that. Don't let us know how it is. Okay. That is it for us. We will see you guys next week. Again, a little bit shorter show. I'm sure next week will be a massive show, much like Micah pointed out earlier. So we'll see you guys next week after San Diego Comic-Con. Later.
See ya.